Hello, good evening, and welcome to today's workshop. It's a workshop on diabetes self-management targeted at helping older adults self-manage diabetes and in order to prevent diabetic complications. So if I may, I'd like to share my screen with you to walk you through the presentation, the workshop or the presentation. Yeah, so this is the presentation for the workshop. And the first slide here is the topic is prevent preventing diabetic complications. I'm sorry, preventing diabetic complications. Older adults guide to diabetes self-care. And the workshop is sponsored in partnership with National Public Health Institute of Liberia. This workshop advises the older adults on how to manage and prevent diabetic complications. So the next step we'll be looking at is how to manage this diabetes. How do we prevent diabetic complications for older adults 45 years and above, those living with diabetes in Monserrado County of Moravia? The first skill here is, the first step is getting a little exercise. I know as other adults, they might feel weak to indulge in some form of exercise, but these little daily exercises can actually help us prevent diabetic complications. We have running, mat push-ups, sit-ups, jogging, and other forms of mild exercises that the older adults can indulge in daily to help us prevent, to help them prevent this diabetes, the diabetic complications. So that is the first. The second step from the next slide, we'll be looking at eating nutritious meals. Other adults are, like here in Liberia, we have a lot of our meals are mostly carbohydrates. The main meals here are rice, cassava. So these are mainly carbohydrates. Our meals, all every day in out that carbohydrates. So cutting down on carbohydrates will help us. Like we have the first one: eat regularly, eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, eating the right amount of carbohydrates, healthy diet that includes fruits, vegetables, protein, whole grain, and low-fat diet. These are how we can help make our eat nutritious meals to help us prevent, to help those living with diabetic complications to prevent it. So the next slide is self-care. These simple steps. Another step is actually avoiding weight gain. After we look at taking a little exercise, which is the first step, the second step is taking eating nutritious meals. These things also help us to go into the third step of preventing diabetic complications, which is avoiding weight gain. When we indulge in physical exercise, not everybody when we indulge in physical exercise, naturally keeping fit helps us to manage our weight, and then eating nutritious meals filled up with veggies, fruits. It also helps cut down on excessive fat. So that way we are able to prevent obesity or weight gain. Then the next slide takes us to the target audience. The objective of the workshop is to make sure the target audience knows the skills to self-manage diabetes, and is targeted at the older adults age 45 and above living in Monserrado County. The next slide, we're going to, this is Miss Saidu. Saidu is currently residing in Monserrado County in Moravia. He's 62 years of age. and he was having a diabetic. He has type 2 diabetes and has been suffering from it for a while. So he has been participating in some steps to help him kick off these diabetic complications. He indulged in daily exercises through the help of his kids, and the nurse who is attending to him was able to indulge in daily exercises. They help give him nutritious meals, make sure his meals are healthy meals, which are helping him overcome these diabetic complications. Here is a kind of illustration of older couples, a picture of older couples indulging in a simple jogging. I think this should be jogging or running. So Saidi started early morning jogging and mild sit-ups, and he also began eating nutritious meals and watched his weight. With these steps, he was able to effectively manage diabetes to prevent its complications. So it's no surprise that Sadie is strong and healthy and uses a self-care plan to help him keep fit. This workshop is supported by National Public Health Institute of Liberia. They support the diabetes self-management program to help older adults prevent diabetic complications. So if you want to live healthy, learn skills to diabetes self-care by joining the community. Thank you for watching and I appreciate your feedback.